Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the school management and staff, I extend a warm welcome to our principal, Mrs. Poonamjeet Kaur, head of the junior school, Ms. Sarika Sharma, our coordinator. I extend a gracious welcome to you, dear parents. We treasure your partnership and support in all that we do. As we stand on the threshold of a new session, we shall invoke the blessings of the Almighty and commence the session in a positive aura. Life symbolizes abundance, prosperity, and knowledge. The lighting of an oil lamp is regarded as going down to knowledge. With this noble thought, let us start this morning by lighting the lamp. I now request our principal, the head of the junior school, our activity coordinators, and our punctual parents, that is Mr. Harpinder Singh and Sandeep Kaur, and Dr. Ravi Pal, to please light the lamp.
इम्पोर्टेंट कॉल पे हम शुरू करें।
Good morning, guys. What's for breakfast? French toast. Wow.
हाँ पापा लोग प्लीज। माँ, आपका न्यू ईयर विश क्या है?
न्यू ईयर विश मुझे पक्का इस साल गिटार सीखना है। और आपका?
जरा फोन चाहिए।
रोहना बहुत छोटी नहीं है फोन के लिए?
पापा मुझे आपका फोन चाहिए। मैं खेलूंगा नहीं, ऑफ करके रख दूंगा।
ये लीजिए, ऑफ कर दीजिए।
Every day, in 100 small ways, our children ask, do you hear me? Do you see me? Do I matter? Their behavior often reflects our response. They say your children need your presence more than your presence. I request the parents to keep their mobiles on a silent mode or switched off as we now start our orientation. Childhood is not about how quickly a child can write and count. Childhood is a small window of time to learn and develop at the pace which is right for each individual child. As we embark on a new academic session, we welcome you parents to a joyful journey of academic accomplishments. We at SWS believe that the art of teaching is the art of awakening the natural curiosity of young minds. We acknowledge the fact that schools and homes have shared goals and both are committed to nurturing the children. Leadership is the capacity to translate vision into reality. Our director, Mr. Sandeep Singh, and our principal, Ms. Poonamji Kaur, need no introduction. They are our pillars of support who continue to inspire us to achieve excellence. Thank you, ma'am, for creating a safe and a welcoming environment for our students at school. Your vision, compassion, and commitment to the well-being of the students is invaluable and truly makes a difference. A leader is the one who knows the way and shows the way. Our dynamic head, Ms. Sarika Sharma, is always there to support and guide us in all our endeavors. Thank you, ma'am. We believe that the children are the promise of the future, the assurance of greater things to come. It is a well-known fact that a strong foundation in the formative years plays a vital role in fostering lifelong competencies. The child's experience of learning in the foundation years has a profound influence on their learning abilities. So let's together nurture their innate potential and make them confident, competent, and caring. As we begin the new session, we would like to thank you parents for entrusting your precious little ones in our care, and we hope to instill in them a love for learning and make the journey at SWS a delightful experience. Everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid. We at SWS believe every child has a different learning style and pace. Each child is unique, not only capable of learning, but also capable of succeeding. Education is not just about learning facts, but more so about learning how to think. It is learning to make good choices. It is learning to act with a purpose. Our teaching learning practices focus on the child's well-being in all areas. We strive to develop an enthusiasm for learning by nurturing curiosity, a sense of wonder, and eagerness to learn by providing them a stimulating environment and empowering their minds. Play gives children a chance to practice what they are already learning. Our curriculum is led by the guidelines of NEP. The guiding principles in NEP are identifying and fostering the unique capabilities of each student by sensitizing teachers as well as parents to promote each child's holistic development in both academic as well as non-academic spheres. It states that the purpose of education is to develop good human beings, capable of rational thought and action, possessing compassion and empathy, courage and resilience, scientific temper, and creative imagination. The 5 C's of curriculum at SWS. We at SWS strive to provide a platform where students can express without fear, collaborate with their peer, enhance their critical thinking. We give wings to their imagination and creativity, instill skills and values which will help them to appreciate the Indian ethos and keep them rooted to their culture and heritage. Let the students of SWS be described as inquisitive, empowered, knowledgeable, and critical thinkers. Tell me and I forget. Teach me and I remember. Involve me and I learn. We create an environment where the children are led from the known to the unknown. They learn by exploring, creating, discovering, and reflecting. Positive, concrete, hands-on experiences encourage young children to make choices, decisions, explore their immediate environment. They learn to collaborate, integrate, inquire, construct, and reflect. I can give you the tools to reach the dreams you have inside. Various tools like think, pair, share, role play, read aloud, pitch talk are used to initiate learning and mold our young learners. Cognitive, fine motor, creative skills are enhanced through these techniques, where students learn by doing and are prompted to think out of the box. They're guided to use their knowledge and skills to cope with real-life challenges. I believe that to teach a child effectively, you must touch their hearts long before you begin to teach their minds. We begin the day at SWS with greetings and morning rituals, followed by engaging and interactive lessons. Children are engaged and exposed to wonderfully bright and stimulating learning areas. We integrate the digital pedagogies with the curriculum to enhance the skills. With a holistic, student-centric, interdisciplinary approach to education, the curriculum centers on identifying the unique talent and the potential of every kid and nurture it so that it can blossom. The curriculum, through each of its parameters, focuses on boosting the social, emotional, physical, fine motor, cognitive development of each child. It aims at developing skills and competencies. Our curriculum is age appropriate and based on learning outcomes and progressive teaching by integrating the concepts. The child begins to perceive not only through his eyes but also through his speech. Language development is crucial in the early years. It supports their ability to communicate, express, and understand. Children start with phonic sounds and then move on to blending words and forming sentences. I too believe something magical can happen when you read. Reading exposes the students to the magical world of words. Reading rituals help our little one-rights hone their listening and speaking skills. We follow the reading strategies in our classroom. I will just give you an insight about it. The phonological awareness teaches the children about how words are pronounced and what the letters sound like. Decoding is the process of sounding out words. Children use the skill to break down words to specific sounds and then blend the sounds together to form the word. Reading fluency is the ability to read out loud and correctly at a good pace and with expression. Building vocabulary in early childhood is all about exposing children to language by talking to them, reading to them. Select books with repetitive text. Repetition encourages comprehension. While you read, help your child make connections by asking questions about the story and encouraging them to visualize it. Teaching kids to count is fine, but teaching them what counts is the best. Numeracy is an important part of learning for children in the early years as it provides vital life skills. Children use numbers, concepts, and skills to explore, discover, and create. They analyze and apply their knowledge to real-life context. Children are naturally inquisitive. We help kids understand why the environment is so important and provide them with the building blocks they need to live eco-friendly and sustainable lives. Kids are encouraged to research, investigate how and why things happen. There are shortcuts to happiness, and dance and music is one of them. Each discipline of dance, music, art engage a child's brain, body, and emotions in different ways to encourage their confidence and find joy in self-expression. It's not about winning or losing, but to learn about teamwork, learn about sportsmanship, learn about discipline, the value of working together for a common goal. Sports help children develop physical skills, get exercise, make friends, have fun, learn teamwork, learn to play fair, and improve their self-esteem. Life skills go hand in hand with growth and development. So it's important to teach these children life skills as it helps them to focus and have self-control. It also helps the children in their abilities to communicate, comprehend, and make certain choices and social connections for themselves. It works on the critical thinking areas and helps children to take on challenges. Children love circle time. It brings about just the right blend of structure, enjoyment, and learning. It offers children a safe place to develop their social and emotional connect. The aim of assessment is to build knowledge and skills through a variety of ongoing activities and assignments. Weekly reviews will be conducted to assess concept clarity. We have incorporated the sustainable goals in our school calendar this year to bring an awareness among our children. The SDGs, also known as the Global Goals, were adopted by the United Nations as a universal call for action to end poverty, protect the planet, and ensure that by 2030, all people enjoy peace and prosperity. Our students thrive in an environment of collective pride and achievement. It is heartening to see each child bloom, each one with a different hue, a different fragrance, a different persona, and yet so unique in their own special way. Let's together take a sneak peek into all our fun-filled sessions the last year. There's no role in life that's more essential than that of motherhood. To express the love and gratitude, the students celebrated Mother's Day. Gratitude, appreciation, and acknowledgement was the keynote. The little ones proudly spoke and thanked their mothers for the unconditional love bestowed on them. Grandparents are angels with silver in their hair and gold in their hearts. Through their special love and care, grandparents keep a family together. To honor them, the students celebrated the Grandparents' Day and thanked them for their unconditional love. A book is a gift you can open again and again. To celebrate the joy of reading books and inculcate reading habits in students, the Literacy Week was observed. The DEAR program was introduced to imbibe this habit in the early years. The students of class UKG at 1 hosted the annual event of the SWS family, the musical Munchkins. They welcomed the little toddlers of small wonders for a musical euphony. It was a nostalgic day for the Wonderites as they shared the beautiful memories of their kindergarten years. For a better tomorrow, plant more trees and make this planet a better place to live in an endeavor to sensitize students about the importance of protecting our environment and keeping it clean and green. The germination activity was conducted by our students. Activity-based learning ensures active engagement of learners with concepts and instructional materials. Learning is hands-on, experiential, providing learners the opportunity of learning through manipulations of material and objects. When learning is purposeful, creativity blossoms. When creativity blossoms, thinking emanates. When thinking emanates, knowledge is fully lit. The students performed the balloon experiment that helped them understand the concept in a better way as they explored, discovered, created by doing. What an accomplishment! Festivals are there to teach us that life is a celebration. Keeping in view the cultural diversity of a nation, we at Smart Wonders celebrate and rejoice in the spirit of all festivals. Special assemblies are regularly conducted to mark the special occasions and bring home the relevance of the festivals to our young generation. The students of grade 2 presented their class show Once Upon a Time. Between Once Upon a Time and Happily Ever After lies the timeless treasures of childhood. The Theatre Fest was based on the theme of the ever-popular fairy tales. The show highlighted the importance of stories during childhood. Attired in vibrant costumes, the children cast a magical spell on the audience. The annual sports day, Ready to Rumble, was held in the school premises. The students enthralled everyone with the skills and dexterity with great zeal and fervor. It was a colorful spectacle of fun and races where the little ones tried their best to outdo each other. The event culminated with prize distribution. The school ground echoed with cheers of applause. Graduation is an exciting time. It's both an ending and a beginning. It's warm memories of the past and great dreams of the future. Graduation ceremony commemorates the precious moments of the little ones and offers an opportunity to celebrate the culmination of their kindergarten years. It's time for us to stand and cheer for the doer, the achiever, the one who recognizes the challenges and does something about it. Our little Wonderites have made us proud by bringing laurels to the school. We have Koval and Radhima from class 2 who have won medals at the state level in skating and tennis. We had Abhiru, who won the international first rank in Science and English Olympiad. The students of class 1 and 2 have brought accolades by winning gold medals in the Olympiad. Before we move further, I have a small poem to share with all of you. If I had two wishes, I know what they would be. I'll wish for roots to cling to and wings to set me free. Roots of inner values, like rings within a tree, and wings of independence to seek my destiny. Roots to hold forever, to keep me safe and strong, to let me know you love me when I have done something wrong, to show me by example and help me to learn to choose, to take those actions every day to win instead of lose. Just be there when I need you, to tell me it's alright, to face my fear of falling when I test my wings in flight. Don't make my life too easy. It's better if I try and fail and get back up myself so I can learn to fly. If I had two wishes and two were all that I had, they would just be granted by my mom and dad. I wouldn't ask for money or any store-bought things. The greatest gifts I'll ask for are simply roots and wings. So let's together give our children the roots to know where they belong and the wings to fly and exercise what we have taught. I would now request the head of the junior wing, Ms. Sarika Sharma, to apprise you about the school processes and our rules and regulations.
Thank you, Manmeet ma'am. And I think, dear parents, you must make yourself familiar to this figure because she is going to be the link between your class educator and anything that goes. So she is going to be one of those figures who will be helping you out in all that you require. My task here is just to quickly apprise you about the working in the school, since we've already gotten insight into the pedagogies and the whole vision of the kind of education that will be provided to your child. So we will quickly just go through a few processes which would help you to help your child to come out with his best in the school and actually bring the best of his version as a student and as an individual in school. So there will be few rules and regulations that are to be kind of taken as the helping guides so that we can be in one school as uniform as moving together while we are in a constructed and I would say moving ahead with more kind of clarity of what is to be done in the school. So when you have all these, so one of the major kind of activities that everybody looks forward to when they come and see the school is the swimming activity. And we are quite fortunate that after the long period of COVID, this activity will now be started shortly and I think children are waiting eagerly to jump into the pool and have their first splash after a long while. So parents, as you must have actually gone through the swimming pool because it's been a little while that it was being used, so it's been constructed fresh. So your children can, right from I would say by the end of April, they will be kind of exploring their first swim in the waters here. So we look forward to them. Here I would just like to kind of share with you that the safety of the students has been the prime concern and I would say the focus of our principal in school, and that is how when the children move to the swimming pools, the safety of the students is of utmost importance. The helpers, the didis, they go along with these students. There are those instructors who are present at all times, and to top on that is the class teachers, that they are always with the students when they go to the pool, so that in case of any help that is required, there is enough people to be looking around and guiding and helping your students. because this is something where, as a parent, the concern is very prime. Trips and tours, we look forward again as educators also in school because this gap of, I would say, few years has actually made us restrict our children from exploring what can actually is in the trips and tours, where these children go, they collaborate together, they come together and they make joyous learning which is very enduring. So we also look forward to various trips and tours. So maybe the duration might be small, but believe me, the learning is planned and that is how the learning is very long lasting. Once again, this is going to be something which we all are looking forward to, because this was something which was again not being enjoyed in these few years, and I think the children are the ones who would kind of want to look forward. But here again, since the group that I am addressing is of the parents from the very junior group, we would just like to inform the parents that there would be coupons that will be provided to your children, so rather to you only, and whenever it's through your consent, the children will be getting those coupons to the school, and the eatables will be provided to the child in the class itself. So there will be a helper who would collect those coupons, and so the child is not actually being directly put across to deal with all that. So in a very safe environment, the child is being provided this facility. So this was about something that would be happening. This is to deal with the academics. So when ma'am said we have a no homework policy up till class 2, but whatever we do in school becomes imperative to go home and just kind of reiterate. So we just have recap worksheets, reading logs that will just help you to know actually what happened in school, and in a fun way you can just go through with your child and talk to him, communicate, ask questions as to what he learned during the day. So those will be your helping pointers, those worksheets, reading logs, just to help you connect with your child when you communicate to him regarding the school. Circulars form an important kind of link between the school and the parents, and here it becomes very important and I would say mandatory for parents to go through the circulars on a daily basis, which will be shared on the broadcast groups that we will be forming this year, and also the school pad. So the school pad would be an interactive platform, but on the broadcast groups you will be sent messages, and you are just trying on a daily basis read these circulars and help your child to be prepared when he comes for the next day. Once again I would say, because in this junior group the children are not capable of kind of getting prepared for the next day, and there are several activities as you've seen in the sneak peek of the previous year, which might give you an insight, because we celebrate lots and lots of days, we celebrate several activities which sometimes requires kind of support and help from the parents. For example, we celebrate different color days. So we request the parents to kind of dress their child in a particular color for that day. If it's a yellow day we are celebrating, or get a green meal to school. So there would be certain small activities where your help would be required to the child to be prepared for the next day. So we would, like, it is in the interest of the child, because if this kind of support doesn't come from your end, sometimes the child feels, although we kind of share with, but sometimes the child may feel a little left out from the entire group. So as parents and as educators, we don't want that to kind of seep into the students that I have not got that privilege of enjoying that activity. So you must make it a point that whenever a circular comes, read it and kind of adhere to whatever instructions. Of course, for emergency messages, we have our own ways to reach out to you. So whenever there is certain kind of changes made by the administration or due to certain other issues, they will be communicated to you suitably. So, without saying, I think it's important, as we understand, we've all gone through the schooling, that it's important to be present every day in the school, because every day forms a link for the next day. So if we miss out on one day, that is, we miss out on a lot. So it's required, I think, from the parents that if they without fail make it a point that what may be, the child has to reach the school, because that is the first lesson that you teach your child, that you need to be punctual, and that will go a long way when we talk about building his personality even for the years to come when he will be picking up a job or something. So believe me, that's been an important part of our training when we were young, that we were always asked, and that's how, because of ma'am's intervention, we just kind of tried to inculcate punctuality. So the parent today, who was the first one to reach the school and was on absolute, maintaining the time so well, has been acknowledged, and we would rather appreciate if each one of you would appreciate the time. I think it should go both ways. We appreciate your time, and in the same way, we would seek your cooperation. So I think most of us, although I believe that the child during these years should enjoy his, functions, events, trips with his parents, he must be a part of all that. But still, if the child has come to school, we usually prefer not asking him to be leaving during the school working. So if it's preferable, either you can plan it, the child doesn't come to school, because pulling him out in between makes him somehow uncomfortable, so he's neither on one of those places. So if you send the child, just avoid pulling him out of the school during the half day, because that actually doesn't create a very good sense for the child, because he will miss out on the school and he will also not be well prepared for wherever you want it. So maybe you can once in a while prepare such a way where it is kind of imperative for you to take the child along with you to miss his school, but taking him half day or making short day requests would kindly be avoided. So these are the list of holidays that you may access from the school calendar. That's a e-calendar which is available on the school website, and you all can download that calendar and get a kind of yearly sneak peek into what's going to happen even this year. So that will give you an idea as to, for even when I said the preparation part, you can get yourself ready beforehand, knowing that what all activities will be conducted during the month or during the year. So just to help you out, the coordinators share a monthly note with you on the first day of the month, which gives you an insight into what the month would look like, including all the activities, the competitions, of course the curriculum, the syllabus that will be followed through the month, the reviews, any special events or the special assemblies that we have in school. So everything will be told to you just the first day of the month. So that would be again helpful to you. So we want all our children to grow and flourish in the way that they want to. And here, when we have set patterns, we also want that the child should have his basic knowledge, his basic skills, but if certain skills or certain kind of help is required academically, then the child is identified and he is provided remedial support on Saturdays, whereby the parents are sent messages and they drop the child in the school, and these educators, they help the child for concept clarity and to help him out wherever the child may be lacking. So during the month of April and May, the teachers usually identify such children who would be requiring certain support or help, and then these remedial classes start from the month of July. A very important factor, that's the school timings, and it's my I would say, sincere request to each one of you, let's start it from day one that we teach our child to be punctual and to keep the time. So when we say classes 1 and 2, they come to school at 8 o'clock and it's from 8 to 1:30. The child is still required that maybe if he can reach the classes 5 minutes before, because the gates just open 10 minutes before this school time. So if the time is 8 o'clock, the school gates will open at 7:50. So we would prefer parents not to also drop the kids too early, so that to avoid any kind of, we don't have, because our teachers report by 7:45. So before that, it's not advisable that you leave your child in the school premises. And of course, we would also not want the child to be kind of staying back for a long while. So we will try to maintain the school timings and punctuality, of course. So for the class UKG, the timings, since they are I would say the youngermost group, the timings are from 9:30, so they come a little late to school. We talk of academics, we talk of all sorts of physical health, but I think along with physical health, the health and wellness of our brain, the mind, it's totally important. So just for an overall physical development, the various activities are there. But in case we feel that there are certain kinds of days when we feel that I'm not too fine, I'm not too okay, we have a very well-trained nurse who's very compassionate, and sometimes we keep joking that most of the kids actually want to visit the infirmary just to see her. So at times when they are not, kind of feeling okay, they just go to the infirmary and they get the first aid treatment. So here once again I would like to kind of share with the parents that do not share any medicines with your child in the bags to take as and when without the prior notice of the class teacher or maybe the coordinator. We've seen sometimes the parents just give a small pill or certain things and say, "Isko aap 10 baje kha lena." But still, as parents, we would not prefer, because this might be a little detrimental. And another thing, we do not administer any sort of medicine in school. So without saying, whenever a message goes that your child is not feeling well in school, then we are giving him the first aid, but we do not give him any medicine. But if it becomes absolutely important, then only and only by your written consent do we kind of do that. But we usually try to avoid any such circumstance. So do not send any medicine. And also when you will be meeting the class teachers, share any medical issues that your child is having, any kind of assistance that he would require, so that the teacher is well aware in case there is some need is felt in the class. So here we should not hide, rather we should kind of at least share it with the class teacher so that your child is comfortable in school. These are few guidelines, just kind of pointers for the parents. The ID card forms a very important information of your child, and it becomes the kind of link that we require to reach you out. So you must ensure that your child comes to school with his ID cards, and this goes without saying. Of course in school we do know, but when the child goes for trips or tours, again it becomes very mandatory. So at all times the child is taught to be having his ID card with him. I think you've already got a message which says that your notebooks, books and your stationery should be labelled and deposited with the class teacher. So this is just to avoid any kind of confusion, and maybe the right things are reaching the right owner. So we have the details. Initially I think when the child comes to school and he's not very comfortable and not very known to the environment, it becomes very important that we have these vital information regarding your address and immediate phone number. Of course we have your contact numbers, but if it's labeled on the kind of items of the child, it becomes an easy access. that what is the name of the child if the items are labeled, and of course on the bag if you can leave his name, address and the bus number. So that becomes a little immediate help that the teacher can get, or maybe if the teacher is not there, someone else who's taking care. Once again, so there might be parents who will be coming themselves to collect the children from school. We need to have that kind of confirmation that you are taking your ward. So just to avoid any kind of I would say a wrong person coming and picking up your child, we encourage the parents also, and of course when you get these iCards you will get to know we have a different color of a tag for. So the tagline will be kind of the parent iCard, which ensures that your ward is in the safe hands. Any kind of information that needs to be changed in the school office must be kind of contacted to the school or written in the diary. And I would say the best form of information that you can send, which is the most effective in the school, is that through the email. So that would go without saying unnoticed, and things would be taken care of immediately. The school uniform, all the details, the fine details are there in the school almanac. You can download that from the school website. So the boys, they are wearing their denim shorts, light t-shirts, light blue t-shirts, patka if in case of a Sikh boy, white sports socks with dark blue stripes, belt and black sports shoes. So the child is coming with black sports shoes. That's comfortable and it's sporty for both his I would say the sports period as well as to carry him out as a formal outlook. So again, girls denim skirts, they have the light blue t-shirts with the school logo, and they carry navy blue ribbons in case of flats, black clips, white sports, socks with dark blue stripes, school belt and black sports shoes. So these details are there in the school almanac, and I think that's also provided to you when you got the information for the orientation. Birthdays are very special and so are they for us, but keeping the sensitivity of the kind of issue that we sometimes might face, we always avoid any kind of eatables to be shared with the students in school. So if we are celebrating, we want everybody to celebrate in a very humble and I would say simple manner. So just 2 candies are that you need to share with your child to come and celebrate his birthday. This is I think my most humble request, kindly do not share, and do not is actually with underline, do not share any sort of birthday gifts or anything, because it looks very bad when I have to refuse it when the parent comes and makes a request at the reception. So this year we are just kind of not going to accept any eatables, any sort of gifts that would be to share with either the students or the staff. So just 2 candies, and I think if these special days are individual celebrations, they must be encouraged at home. So with that, of course these young ones till class 2, they can come in their casual, so that is a special day for them, and it gives them a sense of pride when they come and they distribute these sweets. So that of course is encouraged, and you can send them in the best of their. I think this is not only important for us in school, but it is the major concern for parents also, that our child is consuming something which is nutritious, sensible, and of course which will help him to grow. So when we send, again we have 2 breaks during the day. So in the morning the children are encouraged to have fruits, which usually they might avoid at home, and when they are sitting along with their peer and the teachers kind of encouraging encouraging them and teaching them regarding different fruits and all, sometimes we've seen that these children also tend to eat fruits which they might not otherwise. So the first, you can always send a short tiffin it comprises of I would say seasonal fruits, and the second would of course be something which is substantial and the child can consume. The teachers usually they ensure that the tiffin is eaten by the children, but still we prefer that in the beginning, the initial days, we usually send something which is not messy and which the child prefers to eat, because he would be coming to school after a little while, and so initially you may pamper him with something that he would prefer to eat in school, and slowly he would be educated to come up with things that would be nutritious and healthy for him. Just to inculcate healthy eating etiquettes also, like our etiquettes are important, and we would prefer that if you could send a cloth napkin and a mat with the child, so that right from the beginning we have that practice of eating in a clean and making our environment also cleaner, and that's how children will learn. So I don't think so I need to emphasize that parent involvement, and I think Manveen ma'am has summed it up very beautifully in her poem that it's the roots and the wings. So we all are well educated, we all are aware, and I think the video said it all. So your children just need your time, your involvement and your love. So from our end, we are here giving them ample, I would say, support, time, guidance. The rest at home is required from your side. Anything that bothers or troubles you, believe me, the school is more than happy to help you out. So you can just give us a call, come, connect, talk to us, and we would be very happy if we can freeze it out. So together, yes, I believe as a team when we work, we can always make a difference. And when you sit with your child, encourage reading like ma'am has already said, talk to him, give him positive reinforcements, because we all need that. We never want to hear negatives about us. We always like to hear the good things. And that builds our confidence, that gives us the motivation to move ahead. The minute you snub a child, maybe as a parent or as a teacher, the child just stops there, and his mind gives a kind of signal that I need not kind of be progressive. And at this level only we will kind of stop their creativity and curb their confidence. So maybe as teachers, maybe as parents, we just have to encourage. So for whatever, and very, I would say, softly tell them that this is how it would have been the correct way if we could have performed. These may sound like small activities, but they have everlasting impacts. For example, packing your school bags. Right from the beginning, if we inculcate that kind of a mindset that we have to carry only those, of course, the very junior ones, you will be helping out. Tying shoelace becomes a very important lesson in life. I've seen some of, not only the children, I would say, some adults could never learn that skill of tying a lace, and that becomes very important for our children, because that is how they will learn to become independent. Zipping and buttoning their jackets. Again, I say they might sound simple things, but the kind of development that these small activities give you, they give you these fine motor skills. Our fingers require them. We need that kind of sensitivity and touch with ourselves also. That will help us to kind of, this also activates your nerves. So these are small activities, but you may initially help, but encourage that the child learns to do them independently. Opening their tiffin boxes. So don't give them very cumbersome, I would say, tiffins, which are very intricate to open and handle. Here, they can just kind of, clip out or open their tiffins. And again, don't send messy food. They'll not be able to handle that. So once they are in that habit of coming to school and managing themselves, then I think we can slowly go step by step. Again, writing their name, and with writing the name, I would also say that they should know the names of the parents very clearly and their phone numbers. That's a big skill that we need to teach our children, that immediately there is something, they should know what's my, because I've also seen classes up till say 4 or 5 also. What does your father do? I don't know. So the same day I say, go and find out. You should know what your father does. And I'm telling you, sit with them and rather share with them. They'll feel that pride. My father is this, my mother is this, and these are the contact numbers. Because that would differentiate your child from the others. There's a child who says, I know my parents' phone numbers. And there is one who says, I don't know. You can see it on my iCard. So there's a difference. So these are small things, but I think you can just repeat and do them at home, which will help your child to become more confident and comfortable in school. All Saturdays are off, so I think that's a big relief for the parents. So I can see big smiles, the mothers of course, and so you people can plan your weekends and have a good time, and that's required for children. So anything, again I say, if you want to meet anyone in school, so with a prior appointment, you can come to school on Saturdays. But I think there's one thing that I must tell you without saying, that the doors of Principal Ma'am are always open, not only for the parents, I think for the staff also. This is one school where I've seen that we don't need to kind of ask, we just step in and say, ma'am, we want to talk to you. So if it goes for the staff, I think for the parents, ma'am is very open. And so I think this is one area where you will feel the most relaxed. There's a lot of information that we kind of need to update ourselves, and for that we have the school website. So when I say the school e-calendar is also on the school website, you all must visit the school website and download the e-calendar. You will kind of get all the information about the school working on the school website. Another thing, that's a very interactive platform, because whatever we are going to conduct in school is going to be updated there. So you can have kind of a preview of what's going on in the school, what's happened, and what's planned for the coming days. We have a communication platform, that's the school pad, and I think when your children came to school, that must have been downloaded by now. So the information that the teachers they share regarding any sort of home assignments, any communication with you, any worksheet that needs to be uploaded, every information is there on the school pad. Once again, I kind of invite any sort of communication that you would require to the school through the email. Immediate something if you require is a phone call at the school reception. So you just call up the school reception and inform, and the needful will be done. But if it's something which can be looked into in a little while, you must share a mail with us. So we have a very standardized kind of a process for addressing your mails. So the minute the mail comes, it's shared right there with the principal in the morning. And that's how she delegates to the concerned parents. So you can believe that your mails are coming to the right person and your queries will be addressed suitably. Next one. So we have a YouTube channel where we kind of record all our assemblies, all our events, functions, and they are uploaded there. So whenever you are having time and it's convenient for you, you must go through all this to get a better kind of, and to feel that you are also a part of it. So other than your kids, you can enjoy the events and celebrations of others also. So of course, this is the era of the social media, and I think we will be bothering you from time to time, because that's how it's required, that we move ahead appreciating and motivating our endeavors also in school. Like kids, I think even adults need a lot of appreciation and that push to go, and so just when you share your thumbs up, it gives us a good feeling and tells us that we are on the right track. So everything that we do, whether it's sitting that side or whether it's at our end in school, it's really worth it, because each child is precious, each child is unique. So every effort that goes must be thought for and should be collaborative. So I really want to thank each one of you, because you've been very patient. Today is a working day, but still I really see all parents. That shows itself that you are concerned for your child. And that's very important, and that's, I think, the vital thing for your child. So we have an email ID, like I told you, that you must share. Again, it's there in your circulars that went to you, so you can refer in case you miss out on, and you can share your emails on this platform. So looking forward to not just a fruitful but a very exciting journey of learning together and of working together to build our children for tomorrow. Thanking you all so much. I really wish the best for all of you. Thank you. And with the kind of class educators that your children are going to be taken care of by. So I would like to invite Miss Nisha. She will be taking care of the kids in the UKG grade. Miss Dolly. She is the educator for 1A. And Miss Kamal, she is the educator for grade 1B. The dance educator, Miss Preeti, she will be helping your. So I would request you all to come. Miss Pooja Daroga, who is the special educator in school. Our dedicated beauty teacher, Miss Aditi. Our art educator, Miss Harnoor. And our very dedicated and compassionate nurse, Miss Neha. And heading this team, I would invite Miss Mandeep ma'am. She is the coordinator from the family here. So that's a very competitive team who's going to take your children with everything ahead through this year. And in case you have any queries, any doubts, you may address them now. So, sir, just provide a mic. I mean, just kind of
to eat in school only. They won't be taking that foods with them.
no. So usually what we do is we encourage only the Friday because that's the kind of the end of the week, and yes. So my
Good morning, everyone. So I'll just address it now. So let me first address the parents. Thank you so much for gracing the occasion, for coming and joining us for an orientation, because that is where we understand how we can support each other to make life easier for ourselves and make it amazing for the children, for things to work out. So that's the first question. What are the rules? So that is what we are doing here. We are trying to lay the ground rules so that we are all on the same page and our expectations are clear as to what is expected of us as a parent, what is expected of the children, and what is expected of the school, the staff members, the management. So that is what we try to do on a parent orientation, right? So, of course, it's very, very important for you to understand that these are the very basic ground rules. Wherever you have a doubt, wherever you have a question, you just need to talk. So, I always say, do not wait for an issue to become a problem. Please speak up, please connect. Connecting at the right time and at the earliest is the most important. And of course, we have very competent people sitting at the reception. So that's your first line of contact. Immediately call, ask, get it resolved. If it's not resolved, speak to the coordinator, speak to the head, speak to me, and your queries will definitely be resolved, right? So that is important. If you have any information that you want us to know, send a diary note. The class teacher will be looking at the diaries every day. They will revert, they will write a reply. We want you to stay connected. That's very, very important. And of course, besides that, if you want to come and meet a person face to face, like ma'am had said, of course you can come and meet the class teachers or the subject teachers only on a Saturday. The reason being, on other days they are busy with your children and we don't want to pull any educator from a classroom. However, for meeting the coordinators or the head or me, like ma'am said, of course, for them, you need an appointment because they are also busy making sure that the wing is running. But my doors are definitely open. You can walk in and I will meet you. Right? So that is not a problem. And as ma'am requested, so what are the ground rules for the cafeteria? The ground rules are that we do not encourage the children to be eating from the cafeteria on a daily basis. The power is in your hands. That is, I'll just come to it now. So, the power is with you. Why? Because we cannot have a rule since all of you are different and you all have different lives. So, on a particular day, I might get up and realize that I'm very unwell. And I can't make a good tiffin for my child. So you all need to have your coupons with you, and as and when you feel the need that your child needs to get something from the cafeteria, you can send that coupon in the diary along with what you want, because the menu will be shared with you, right? So the price list and the menu will be given to you. It is you who will decide as a parent. We as a school will not decide which day your child can eat from the cafeteria and which day they can't. Alright, so that is not something that we will decide. What we have done is to ensure that very good quality food is provided, which is again nutritious, not, it might look like a fast food, but it is not junk food. Right? So very good, almost home quality food will be provided for your children when you need your child to have it. So that's the ground rule. No child from the foundation years will be allowed to go to the canteen. The class teacher will be checking the diaries. They will take out the coupons of the children who need the food that day, or they need something from the canteen. It could be a supplement. You might send something, but you might say, oh, the cupcake is also needed for my child. So that's totally your wish. We will not tell you what your child, cannot have. And of course, for the safety, the Didis, we have a Didi in every class up to class 2. that Didi will take all the coupons to the canteen, get the food well in time for your children to enjoy in the safety of the classroom with their teachers. So that is what is important. Second, like we said, we have a fruit break. Again, I get up in the morning and I suddenly realize we've been very busy. I did not buy any fruit. It's okay. Fruit break doesn't mean that only fruit can come. In case for some reason you don't have fruit at home, you can send something else. It's a little break for the children to eat something to stay energized. Right? So if you don't have fruit, but you have a fruit cake, you can send it. You have biscuits, you have made a little sandwich or a toasty, that's perfectly fine. When we say fruit break, we mean a short break where if the children eat fruit, well and good. If you don't have it at home, it's okay. Right? So that is how we will also learn, and our children will also learn. Sometimes exceptions happen. Right? So we need to teach our children to follow the rules and also know that there are days when there will be exceptions. Right? Alright. Ma'am, have I satisfied your question? No? Okay, please go ahead.
For elder kids, you can make that they can come and get whatever they want. But the younger kids are very notorious. I think you can understand that very well. Because they are going to budge us at home that other kids are getting this and this at this point or other day or other day. But you are not allowing us to take anything from that. I'm not saying that I'll not be allowing her to taking any food from cafeteria, but I believe there should be few days selected when kids can take that. I think so, but rest rules are yours.
So, I'm so sorry ma'am, but I don't agree with that because that is coming from you. So we need to be stronger parents for our children to understand these are the ground rules in my house. Right? And it doesn't matter what the ground rules in other houses are. Right? So that's very important. We cannot impose our needs on other people. That is something that our children also need to understand. Now I might have a scooter and another child has been dropped in a car. That doesn't mean that we give a rule that every child has to come on a scooter for that child to feel good. No. So this is what I'm trying to say. It's very difficult to be a parent. We have to ensure that our children understand that every house is different. Every rule is different. But we have ground rules in school which are good for all the children. So that is something that we will do. We encourage, we will educate. You have to enforce it at home, we will enforce it in school. So, yes, any other questions? Anything that we need to know? So, yes ma'am.
Ma'am, last time.
Good morning everyone. I requested for the sports activity to be, as a compulsory period every day because it wasn't there before last year. So just a request that it should be mandatory every day, that there should be a sports period.
So what we are doing is that there might not be a sports period per se every day because you need to understand the number of sections we have, right? So every school has a number of sections and educators are hired for that. We will have a physical activity every day, which means it could be yoga, it could be swimming, it could be dance, it could be aerobics, it could be sports. So it doesn't have to be a sport period every day, it is a physical activity period every day. Because one person cannot be in so many sections on a daily basis. You have to understand that in UKG we have 5 periods. In say 1 to 2 we have 8 periods or 7 periods. 7 periods. So in that we cannot have a sports period and a dance period and a music period and an art period English, math and EVS on a daily basis. So there is a balance that is created. And as it is, it's a 5-day week for our little babies. So 5 days we ensure that we have the English and the math on a daily basis. Right? And the others, the activities are given in a balanced manner. We try to ensure that there is no physical activity right after the break. That's logic, right? So these are the things that we look at when we are creating a timetable. But again, that's the rule. There are always exceptions. So I need all of you to be understanding of the fact that we have to cater to a whole lot of children of different age groups, of different classes. So there will be exceptions always. However, we always try to follow what is best for the children, because that is what our job is. But wherever you feel that something is very wrong in your opinion, please come ahead and discuss, and we will try to find a common ground. Alright? Any other questions or any doubts? Any? Yes. Please come.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, everybody. Just, ma'am, one suggestion from our side. Ma'am, like you said that you cannot conduct every day the sports activity, either alternative day or twice or thrice a week.
Definitely, sir.
Because ma'am, sometimes, like last year, what happened? If the sports day is around the corner in a year, so then certainly they incline in sports activity. If we keep it regularly, so certainly the children will also be not stressed on that few days when the sports day is around the corner. But if it is continued whole year, then there is development also for children and they learn sports.
Absolutely.
That's my suggestion.
Thank you so much. A very valid suggestion, sir. And stress and sports can't go together, right? So we cannot get stressed for sports. Sports is for fun. It is to release the feel-good hormones. It's to keep us healthy. So we will ensure. So we did have a bit of a problem initially with sports because our sports teachers left, and then the person we had was very unwell. However, I assure you that our sports is going to be very, very well planned and very well executed this year. So it is going to be on a regular basis. It will be for the children's development and ensure that they actually learn the skills of the sport also and they stay healthy also. That's a promise. Anyone else? So, anyways, if you have any doubts, any questions, like I said, please stay connected. And it's a journey. Destination, we are not waiting for the graduation day or the result of March. Every day is a new day in the life of a child. It's actually there for us also, but we kind of take it for granted. But for a child, every day is a discovery. Every day. So let's leave it to be amazing. Let's be very positive. Let's encourage them. Please do not compare your children with anyone, and just let them have their childhood. We really need to give our children back their childhood. I feel very bad when I see a lot of times we are making them into adults at a very young age. They don't need to be. You are there for them. You be the responsible person and teach them to follow the rules. However, they should not be making those decisions that you have to be making for them. Please make the right choices for them and ensure they learn how to respect and follow rules for their own safety, but let them be children. That is what we need to. School does not mean that you can't be a child. We don't stop children from being children, from enjoying themselves, from being creative, from throwing that odd tantrum. It's okay. We don't expect children to sit quietly all the time. So any classroom which does not have a noise is a dead classroom. Right? So classrooms need to be hustling and bustling with activity. So you don't have to worry about that. But like, I think I'll get back to what Manmeet ma'am showed, that first video. Just remember that. Please put away your mobiles and definitely do not give them to the children. Be in the moment, be with the children. That is something that I feel, not only the children but the adults are also missing out. We are not in the moment, whether we are sitting at the dining table or we are sitting in a restaurant or we are in the park, the children are playing but we are on the mobile. So let's just put away these devices which are taking away from the time that we can spend with our family. I think that's a big takeaway from here. Thank you Manmeet ma'am for that lovely video. And thank you Sarika ma'am. Thank you dear teachers. I have utmost trust in the team of our foundation years teachers who are double of what we parents are. They are mother teachers. Right? Let's give them a big round of applause. All the mothers sitting here know how difficult it is to be a mother. They're mother teachers. So their task is double of what it is of yours. And let's not say double, multiplied by maybe 300 because there are 30 children or 28 children in the class. We are looking after one child. They've got 28 to 30 little babies dealing with the same things that you're dealing with one child, and then there are two parents sitting with a child in the middle, right? So there they are. So hats off to them, hats off to the teachers who are looking after our precious babies, and I want to thank all of you here and all those who have not been able to join us for trusting us with your most precious treasures. I promise that we will look after them. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, dear parents. Despite the weather conditions, it's heartening to see a house full of you today. So please join us for a cup of tea. It is laid outside. Have a good day. And after the tea, you can proceed to the classrooms and deposit the stationery and the books with the class educators. Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am.